Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name's Michaela and today we're going to be talking comfort reads. So first and foremost, before we even get into this video, this is a total side topic, but please ignore my nails. Like, I literally don't even want to use my hands today. I'm gonna just talk about everything like this. Okay, so I have a few books that I want to talk to you about today that are my comfort reads, but before we get into that, since this is a comfort read video, I figure I'll show you something I just got. So recently, Oodie reached out to me and they were like, we love your YouTube videos, which was so sweet, thank you. And they wanted to send me their Oodie. And I was like, okay, absolutely. Once I saw that it was a hooded blanket, no questions asked. So obviously I already unpackaged it. As you can tell, it's not in this bag. But it does come in this really nice little drawstring bag, and I guess you can use it to kind of carry it around, keep it clean and all that good stuff. So I thought this was like a neat little add-in. And I mean, of course the drawstring bag is so cute, but it also comes in like the cutest little bag and I just love it. And it says, I'm warm, soft, playful, cuddly, and super cozy. And I wholeheartedly agree after messing with this thing a little bit. It is so soft. So with all that being said, let's get straight into it and I'm gonna show you guys what I got. Okay, so when they reached out to me, they were like, you can choose any design you want. And honestly, it took me a few scrolls because there was so many cute designs that I couldn't really decide what I wanted. I was really stuck on black and pink for a while there. But obviously, as you can see, I decided to go with the pink and I have no regrets whatsoever because this pink is so vibrant and so beautiful. So let's unravel her and see what we got. Okay, so no lie, I really feel like this is about to be a new obsession of mine because I am such a blanket girl. I am such a hoodie girl. I love to bundle up in oversized jackets, big blankets, whatever the case may be. I absolutely love it. So I just know I'm going to love this. So unraveling this, I can already tell it's very, very thick. The material feels very nice, which is good. It's got cuffs on the sleeves and usually I don't like that on a jacket, but we can only tell by putting it on. So yeah, I mean, let's put her on. Okay, so a few things I find notable about this jacket is one, it's so heavy, like I've already mentioned. It also has the sherpa on the inside, which I love in a jacket because it just adds that extra coziness to it, and I absolutely adore that. Okay, I can already tell you I've been in this thing for 0.2 seconds. I love it. Oh my God, I feel like I'm in a freaking cloud right now. That sounds stupid, but I'm being legit. So I'm 5'7" for reference, and I don't know if you guys can see, but this thing is literally like all the way past my knees. And it's one size fits all, so I was kind of nervous about how it would fit, but I absolutely adore the way that it does. And not to mention, do you guys see this pocket space? Like, I kid you not, all of this is pocket. You can like literally do anything within these pockets. Okay, so let's do a spin because she's a slay. I am absolutely loving her. Oh my God, just the color in itself is so cute. I absolutely love it. Oh my God, and just the hoodie alone being on adds so much snugness to it, I have to say, because like I took that off, immediate temperature change. So yeah, I mean, I am thoroughly impressed with this. Obviously, I'm gonna give it a trial run, wear it for a little bit. Let's just wear it in our video and see how it goes. But the verdict for right now, I'm obsessed. And just an FYI while we're up here, if this is something you're interested in and you would love to get the Oodie, this is my discount code, MAXBOOKSHELF15 for 15% off your order. Go get you one, girl, because cold is coming soon and I don't know about you, but I'm prepared. So I know it's kind of silly to give you guys the definition of what a comfort read is because it's like kind of self-explanatory, but I wanted to do it anyway. So with that being said, a comfort read is a book that you go back to time and time and again, even if it's only to dip in for a chapter or two, just for that little bit of cheer and warmth. So I'm super excited to get into these to see if I have some recommendations for you guys. I swear by these books. I tell everybody to read them, so take my word for it, girl. They're really freaking good. So the first book we're going to talk about is Shatter Me, and if you've been here before, you know why. Honestly, this book has like kind of a nostalgic feel to me because when I read it, it takes me back to the time period in my life when I read it. And it takes me back to the group chat with TR and Nor just screaming about Aaron Warner and how obsessed we were. So I would definitely say this book also has some nostalgic, sentimental value there, but just something about going back to the very beginning of the story before all hell broke loose and seeing where these characters started, just getting the world building again, all of it just makes me so happy. So obviously I dive back in time and time again for a little bit of cheer and warmth. So in this book we have Juliet, Aaron, Kenji, and Adam, and they're some of my favorite characters. I absolutely adore them to death. So sometimes I'll just dip back in just to get those feelings again, just because, I don't know, you know when you read a book and you're like, oh my god, I'm going to love this. They just stick with you, and this book has stuck with me since I've read it. This book truly gives me so much comfort in the fact that I know where these characters end up, I know where the storyline goes, and I just love being able to dive back into the beginning, because in my opinion, the first few books were the best. So just like ending it with Imagine Me or Believe Me or whatever it was, and coming back and reading Shatter Me, I'm like, oh my god, I almost forgot how good this book was. Honestly, in my opinion, the series did not end on a good note, but it started on a freaking fantabulous note. I truly wish I could read this series again for the first time, but I can't. So when I'm just looking to get some of those feelings and just dive back into the world of this dystopian, I pick it up and I read a few chapters just to get that feeling and remember these characters, because they just left an imprint on me, to be honest. In the next book we're going to be talking about, do not act surprised. Literally don't. You know I'm picking up Tegan because I absolutely love her with everything in me. This was the first book that I read by Tegan Hunter, so it just has that special place in my heart, because I kid you not, as I was reading this book last December, I was like 40% through or something, and I just like knew it in my soul that this book and this series was going to take over my life. I didn't realize that Tegan Hunter was going to take over my life, but rightfully so, because she's a queen and she literally does no freaking wrong. So in case you don't know, this is the first book in the Carolina Comment series, and it's a sentimental book to me. Like, all of these are kind of gonna be like sentimental in their own way, but this one is just to go back to the beginning of the drawing board with all these characters and everybody starting at square one, and just getting to see the way that Tegan set this book up just makes me so giddy every single time. Honestly, in my opinion, there is no wrong with the Carolina Comment series. Every book to me was at least a 3.5 or higher, just because I absolutely adored them and they just ooze comfort for me. So I don't even want to talk about the fact that I just finished, because I'm so upset that I don't have this series anymore, but I get to start her new series, which is Seattle Serpents, which I'm so excited for. But I find myself picking this book up all the time just because it hits different when it's the ones that you know are going to like absolutely be your favorites and all that. So yeah, just to go back to the beginning before all these things happen, marriage, babies, all that good stuff, just to see where we started. And I mean, their meet cute plays on repeat in my head all the time. I could literally tell you exactly how they meet, but I'm not going to, because it's actually really freaking cute and you need to read it for yourself. And next up is a book that I feel like you've heard me talk about before, but possibly you haven't. I'm pretty sure you have, but it's going to be The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. So for starters, please ignore that she does not have a sleeve. She took a milkshake to the face while I was reading it. I'm quite upset about it still after a year, and I don't really want to talk about it. So no lie, I think about this book so much more than I thought I ever would, but it's because of the fact that the plot line is so different and unique, and it's like so comforting, not to be corny and use the name of our video 1,000 times, but it really is. Like, this book made me look at life in a different light, and books that affect you that deeply just always I hold near and dear to my heart, and this was definitely one of them. Like, I don't think I will ever stop thinking about this book. So in this book, when you die, you go to like a waiting room type situation, but it's like a huge never-ending library, and you just have all these books that line the shelves and everything, and you walk in, the librarian greets you. I'm not going to get into detail, but she's like, you can pick any book off the shelf. These are all lives you could have had if you would have made a different decision. So you get to go in and you get to like pick a book off the shelf and be like, okay, I want to go into this one. And then you're sent into this book to see how your life could have been if you would have done this differently, or would have made this choice, or whatever the case may be. And if you don't like that book, okay, go back, maybe select another one off the shelf. If you like that book, you can choose to stay in it. But I just feel like it really opens your eyes to, you're always saying, if I could go back in time, I wouldn't do that. But you can't truly know that, because this book just shows you that, because you don't know what decision is going to cause what domino effect. And I just loved the aspect of this book all around. I just feel like this is such a soul book, if you get what I mean by that. Because I mean, the whole time I was reading it, I was just like, what would my books look like? Would I choose a different book? Would I just be like, nah, I'm good, take me back to the OG? I don't know, it got your mind running, and like I said earlier, it just makes you think about things differently. So yeah, I mean, Obviously, I recommend this book 1,000 times. I absolutely adored it, and just to have the talent of making people look at life in a different way is something I crave in an artist. So obviously I went and I got 2 more of his books, and I cannot wait to read them because of what this book did to me and how long it stuck with me. So if you have not read this book by Matt Haig, The Midnight Library, please do yourself the favor and just like open your eyes a little bit. Go read it because it truly is an eye-opener and I love it. The next book is going to be Better Than the Movies by Miss Lynn Painter. And if you know me, you know that I fell utterly in love with this woman last year. So I had kind of been into like the steamy romances and, you know, thrillers. I hadn't really, at least I don't remember touching a lot on rom-coms. This was the first one that kind of like rocked me enough to be like, oh my God, I love rom-coms. So ever since then, I absolutely love Lynn Painter. Sarah Adams is another really good one. Like the feel of it, just it makes you feel butterflies and it makes you geek out like a schoolgirl, literally. But I mean, they're just so wholesome because if your love language is music, I literally love you. The way that they do it throughout playlist in this book just makes me freaking swoon. I love them so, so much, and I just think about them all the time. Like I do all these characters. I don't even think about like real life stuff. I'm always thinking about books. That's just me. But I mean, honestly, this book is just sentimental to me in the fact that it was my first Lynn Painter, and it's just kind of the OG for me. Kind of like how Puck Shy was the OG of Tegan Hunter. It started that love, and it started the flame of that love, and I absolutely loved it. That sounded so cheesy, but you get what I'm saying. So the next book is going to be Heartless by my queen, Elsie Silver. And if you've been on this channel for a while, you know how obsessed I am with this book, or just this series in general, because it absolutely stole my freaking heart. There honestly, like without a doubt, was not a bad book in this series. I absolutely adored every single one of them, but for some reason when I think Chestnut Springs, my mind just goes straight to Willa and Cade and Luke, because they were just so wholesome and they just pulled at my heartstrings, made me giggle like a schoolgirl, made me kick my feet. I love when a book can pull that out of me. So Heartless will always be in my heart. So the reason I consider this book a comfort read for me is just because of how easily, like it takes nothing to make me happy when I'm in Chestnut Springs, whether it be the other Eatons or the banter or Luke or Cade or Bo, whoever it is, it does not matter. It's just going to make me happy, and I don't know, this just stuck with me as one of my favorite series. As I think you can see, you can look, that's all of my babies right there. I love them so much. So yeah, this book will always have a special place in my heart, as will all the other ones. But when I'm craving just to dip my toes back in and just visit Chestnut Springs again, this is who I'm going to. This is Old Reliable, and she just makes me so happy and comforted. So yeah, definitely if you have not read the Chestnut Springs series, respectfully, what are you doing? And surprise, surprise, we have another Lynn Painter, which is going to be Mr. Wrong Number. Honestly, in my opinion, Lynn Painter is just the queen of rom-coms. Like, that is her scene, it's her turf, and she rocks at it. I mean, I absolutely adored this book, and I haven't stopped thinking about it since I read it. Sure, I literally just read it last month, but I think about it all the friggin' time. So, I mean, I feel like this one's pretty self-explanatory. We obviously have a situation where somebody texted a wrong number. We're not talking to who we thought we were talking to, but the conversation and the banter that stems from that is just like literally everything. Like if this whole book was literally just text messages back and forth, I still would have ate it up. And the thing about this book, I was kind of nervous for it going into it because everybody like compares this one between The Love Wager, and they're always like, oh my God, Love Wager all the way. So the fact that I adored this one so much, I feel like The Love Wager is going to either like be so, so special to me, or I'm at least going to love it, because this book was just so amazing. I love you, Lynn. You are so talented, and I miss being in this book already. But needless to say, this book was so fast paced and it kept me hooked the entire time. I wanted to know like, oh my God, like when are they gonna find out they're not texting who they think they are? So I was absolutely hooked, and the fact that she did that with a rom-com, stop. I was absolutely in love, and the angst that built up the entire book, dude, I was just like, honestly, like sheltering, trying not to get burnt when it went poop, but it was the best poop ever, and I loved it. Okay, and the next book is going to be The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. This was a book that I read, I want to say over 2 years ago. It was a while because it was one of my first books that rekindled my love for reading. So obviously it has that sentimental value to me, and Adam and Olive, I love them so much. So it honestly shocks me how often this book pops into my mind, but it was my first fake dating book, and I truly feel that Allie Hazelwood like kind of lit that match for me that started my insane love for fake dating, because they just did it so well. Not to mention that Adam is like the biggest grump and she's the biggest sunshine, so it was like that, it's the clash of those two, like it's always great. So I mean, yeah, this book is just so comforting to me and I love it so much. I kind of want to reread it. Like, oh my god, I miss it. It was so perfect. The grumpy time sunshine, the fake dating that I've already mentioned like 20,000 times. I will never get over it. I will never get over it. I'm never gonna stop thinking about it. So I love them so, so much. And I also low-key love this jacket. Like, good night. I'm not even filming anymore. No, because for real. So the last book we have today for comfort reads is going to be A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J Maas. And I feel like some of you are like gaping at me right now and you're like, girl, how is that comforting? Like, ow, how is that comforting? But then again, I feel like if you've read it, you get it. So honestly, in my opinion, this book is like the core of the ACOTAR series, simply because all the character growth, all the action that happens, just so much is slammed into this book that happens. And another thing that I really like about this book is I can get comfort from it. I can get sadness from it. I can get anger from it. My heart can start racing because of it. Any emotion I want to feel is going to be within this book, and I just love that I have the option of, hey, if I want to feel every emotion in the rain cloud, literally just one book and I can feel it all. I feel like you would think that ACOTAR would be my favorite because it's the beginning of the series and it's the world building and it's where we get started, but nah, this one's my favorite by a long shot, and that might be why it's my comfort read. I loved ACOTAR and I loved Akamoth and I loved Akafoss, you know, if that's how you say it. Don't ask me about Silver Flames, literally not talking about it. But this book was absolutely amazing and it just brings me so much comfort, and just looking at it, I'm just like replaying so many scenes in my head right now. Not the comforting ones. Anyway, this book is just so important to me, and this was also one that I buddy read with my two best friends who live so far away, and the way we bonded over this series is just like one of my favorite things. So it also holds that special place in my heart, and I just genuinely don't ever see myself forgetting about these characters, forgetting about my experience reading it, and just all the emotions that it brought out of me. So this is easily, without a doubt, one of my comfort reads. So obviously, like, all these books are very important to me and I love all of them to pieces. They're some of my first like recommendations when people ask me what should I read. These are some of them because they just bring me so much comfort and I love them so much. Also loving this Oodie right now, so if you want one, girl, don't forget discount code is MaxBookshelf15 for 15% off your order. I absolutely love this thing, like no questions asked. This is like one of my new favorite things. Like, girl, stop playing. I'm literally in a blanket right now. Stop playing. Look at me coming up with all these good ideas. A comfort video with comfort books and a comfort Oodie. It just works so well. So guys, I genuinely hope you got some good recommendations off this video. If you've already read some of these, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you like content like this. I'm always talking books. This was a little special add-in. But anyway, I love you guys and I will catch you guys next time. Read amazing books, have an amazing week, and I love you angels so, so much. Later. Hello, brother. I hate that you can see my finger right now. Like, don't even look at it. Dude, I'm literally sitting crisscross applesauce right now. And it literally fits down over my knees. Slay. And you know what else brings me cheer and warmth? My Oodie. So if you want one, girl, discount code. What are you doing? Like,